Greetings and salutations, and welcome to episode 225 of Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry. That is Trev, and no Stoner today. He is out celebrating his anniversary. He says he might pop in, and I kind of was just like lightly hinting to him, enjoy your anniversary, as in like, don't make Mama Stoner mad by coming out here on your anniversary. So happy anniversary to the Stoners, and we wish them the best. And you can wish them the best by hitting that like button for us, subbing up to the channel, sharing it so other people can join us as we stream live every week here on YouTube and Facebook at 7:30 Eastern. We appreciate everybody jumping in. Already good conversations happening. We do have a poll up for those live listeners right now. Are you going to go to Spain to see the game in November? JG here saying, I voted yes on the poll, but it's conditional on Ref the District funding the trip. I'm sorry, we don't got that kind of cash. If we did, Trev and I would be going. But we'll talk about the schedule and Spain when we get there for the game. In the cool down, we will be talking about a certain defensive end who's getting a little defensive on his position with the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll be talking about, of course, Trey Hendrickson, maybe a little bit of basketball talk in there as well, and why tanking is just a very, very bad idea. And here in the warm-up, it is running room and talking about the NFC East running backs, how they rank. How does Washington stand up against the NFC East? We did our own thing on Monday. Stoner and I did a video, got them there second, but realistically, the Giants could be sneaking up. And Philadelphia, are they falling down? We'll see. And we'll talk about that here in the warm-up. Of course, I want you to make sure that you also find us on your favorite audio platforms and give us a listen there as well. Hit that auto download button. It would help us immensely. Let's get straight to it. Trev, how do you rank the NFC East running back rooms? Strictly the running back rooms. If you take into account the rushing attack, overall, Jayden Daniels is a bit of a cheat code, and he kind of really solidifies Washington up towards the top. But if you look at the running backs, just the running backs, is Brian Robinson really number 2 material in the East?
Well, of course, Saquon's number 1. He's number 1, hands down. Number 1. I don't care who's behind him in their running back room. Their running back room is number 1 because of Saquon Barkley, hands down. They won a Super Bowl because they had a running game. And who was it? Saquon Barkley. So there you go. It's B-Rob number 2. You look at the Cowboys. They just drafted that blue kid from Texas.
Sure.
Who else did they get? Somebody else in that running back spot too, right?
Well, they have a couple of retreads out there in Dallas. Let me pull up the depth chart there. Javonte Williams.
Oh, yeah.
You might remember Deuce Vaughn from a while ago. And then they also have Miles Sanders.
Okay, so I'm going to rank them last right now.
Yeah, it's a bad room.
Then you got Cam Scatterbo in the New York Giant blue. I'm sure he's pretty good. I wanted him in Ashburn, but it's okay. So I think if you want to add Austin Eckler with B-Rob too, we could be number 2. We haven't seen Cam Scatterbo. He hasn't proved anything in the league. Just going off of his college days, he's solidified. He's good based off that. But yeah, so Eagles 1, Commanders 2, Giants 3, and then Cowboys 4.
Yeah. So when looking at this, the rookies were really kind of the hard part to go because, like you said, Cam Scatterbo and the Giants, I think a lot of people, our viewers especially, loved Scatterbo. And so those people really want to rank him really high. But I really couldn't, even with Blue. Blue was another one. Dallas ended up drafting him. Here we liked him. We thought that he would be a good running back. All of these running backs taken were day 3, even our own Ja'Cory Croskett Merritt, Bill for short. He was taken day 3. And I liked Deuce Vaughn a couple of years ago. That was a day 3 running back. He's got 40 carries to his name. It's hard to me to value highly these running backs because they're not day 1. They're not day 2. They're day 3. So
We're not game planning for the Giants running attack and the Cowboys running attack like we do for Phillies and people do for ours. Now, I mean the running back room at least. I didn't mean to say running attack, but the running back room.
Yeah, the franchise talk here saying we're number 2, but that's because there's such a low bar in the NFC East.
Saquon Barkley.
The drop off between Saquon Barkley and the rest of the crowd is big, huge. But then, like, if we're putting Dallas at the bottom here, that's because they got Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jayden Blue, Deuce Vaughn, Phil Maffa as well in there. But it's Miles Sanders had one good year with the Eagles. That's why he's kind of a household name. He spent 2 years in Carolina doing absolutely nothing. He's aging up as well. Javonte Williams is a guy who Stoner likes, but he's a journeyman. So it's just like, that's a super low bar. There's not an exciting player there. No. Tyrone Tracy Jr.
He's pretty good.
He looked pretty good. He's not otherworldly. Another day 3 running back. Devin Singletary is a journeyman, and Cam Scatterbo. I mean, I feel like the East, including Washington, with Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, McNichols Rodriguez, and Krosky Merritt, it's going to come down to the linemen and what the offensive line looks like. And I mean, Dallas is banking on the fact that they usually have a solid offensive line, and you can get good production from a average back with a solid offensive line. And it feels that way for the Giants as well. Yes, Tracy had a good rookie year, but again, not otherworldly. And then they bring in Cam Scatterbo, who might be stealing, carries, not a rushing attack or running back room that really scares me.
No.
So we went over Dallas and who was in Dallas. You said you didn't care who's behind Saquon Barkley.
No.
Obviously, the Eagles are number 1 because Saquon Barkley is a difference maker.
Yeah.
Probably was in the running for a Super Bowl MVP until the Eagles decided they wanted to get Hurts involved.
Yep.
Could you tell me who was behind Saquon Barkley?
Gainwell?
Gainwell? No. Gone.
Okay. Ooh, wow. Who is behind Saquon Barkley? Nathan, I don't think I can do that, bro.
It's because you probably don't remember they picked up A.J. Dillon from the Green Bay Packers and Will Shipley.
They got Will Shipley as a running back?
They got Will Shipley listed as a running back.
When did they get AJ? I thought AJ Dillon's neck was done with that.
He did injure his neck. He didn't play football last year.
Yeah.
And now he's with the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. I'm still going
to actually the last snaps that he had were in 2023.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. So Saquon Barkley, literally a difference maker.
Question. And I would like all of our viewers to answer as well. We got a bunch in here. Locked on Law Franchise Talk. Mike is here. JG, Jared, all in the house. Nathan as well. Yam, thanks. Good to see you, Yam. Doug here. Answer me this.
Mm-hmm.
If Saquon Barkley goes down, which he's had injuries, he had 2,000 yards, which actually more than doubled his production from the year before with the Giants.
Right.
If he gets injured or has an average Saquon Barkley year, and I will give you what an average means to him, okay?
Okay.
So he has rushed for 7,000 career yards in 7 years. So he cracks the 1,000-yard mark, but just barely. And he rushes for or receives 250 yards. So he has 1,200 all-purpose yards. That's an average Saquon Barkley year. Okay. Where do the Eagles really have that big of a gap?
Yeah.
Even if he's injured or he just has an average Saquon Barkley year, you're saying the gap is still that much bigger than the rest.
Yeah, because if we're number 2, we got B-Rob leading that number 2 charge. I don't even think he smelled close to 1,000 all-purpose yards or anything like close to that.
He's not cracked 800 rushing yards. Brian Robinson, Tracy also shy of the 1,000-yard mark. Probably gets there if he was the full-time starter from the jump.
Right.
But I kind of want to, when I'm looking at this, I feel like the recency bias of Saquon Barkley's 2,000 yards, plus the fact that he is just a special running back. So I don't mean to insult Saquon Hermit, who says that I'm insulting Saquon. But I'm just trying to say that I think that the gap might not be as great as what we're making out to be. I think Saquon is a special running back, and I think the Eagles have a special offensive line, and combining the two is what leads to a 2,000-yard running back. But if Saquon comes back down to what his average is, and or gets injured, as he has many times, I just feel like AJ Dillon, Will Shipley, that might be the worst running back room.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. As a whole, yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying that room is really being held up by Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. There's no knock to Philadelphia. That's, I mean, they got a great line, and I'm sure that they're going to find some production from a running back if Saquon goes down. They had people last year that were filling in when Saquon was sitting, and they were still productive. Yeah. So I'm not trying to be completely down on the Eagles. I just feel like the gap is because Saquon is special and not because the Eagles are necessarily stacked. This is like one of their least stacked rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks, Hermit. Hermit agreed with me. Hermit was going against some of the crowd there. So I appreciate it, Hermit. I don't think franchise is asking, who do I feel is going to get 1,200? I'm not saying Washington supplants them. I'm just saying the gap is smaller than we might think. That's all. That's all I wanted to kind of get out there. That way, when Saquon runs for 1,200 yards or 1,400 yards and is still special, but, Washington's attack was only, it's a significant number, 600 yards shy. It was 3,000 for the Eagles, 2,600, so maybe 400 yards shy for the Washington Commanders. Okay. I'm just saying, when Saquon doesn't run for 2,000 yards again this season, that it's going to look, the rushing attacks are going to look closer. But as mentioned, that's large in part to Jayden Daniels.
Exactly. B-Rob ain't breaking out no big runs like that. Mm-hmm. Eckler has a chance to, but he can't stay upright. He's top heavy. Yeah. And I agree. Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. But until then, they are the number one.
Until that happens, Eagles firmly on top.
Yes.
Not gonna say. And I agree here, JG. This is something, when we did the review of those games we talked about. Saquon had 2-3 big runs against Washington and the games that Washington played against the Eagles. JG here saying, in all honesty, it comes down to just a few plays that the Commanders failed to control Saquon. Unfortunately, they were big plays. He can't take them away, but outside of those big plays that he had, Washington contained Saquon. The problem is Saquon Barkley, he just needs one big run to make that work.
I was going to say, he's been doing that to us specifically since his New York days. So, and they had a worse line and worse QB than they do now. So, yeah, we might we can contain them, but we can't hold them, but we can't contain them, or whatever it is.
Washington firmly two in our minds here. That's good. Let's move strictly to the Washington room so we can move off of the Cowboys, the Giants, and Saquon Barkley. Okay.
Okay.
We have a rookie, Ja'Cory Croskett Merritt from Arizona, but not really Arizona. Taken in the 7th round.
Yep.
Where does he fill in on the depth chart for you?
He's going to battle for McNichols' spot, I do believe. He took him 7th round. He hasn't played in a year. Not due to health or anything. It was due to some eligibility issues. But the year before that, he rushed for over 1,000 yards and I think 17 touchdowns. But I don't see him coming in dethroning B-Rob or Austin Eckler right now, but he definitely can have a chance to dethrone McNichols to get his feet wet and then eventually take that lead running back spot that everybody said he's going to do after this year anyway. So
yeah, a lot of high hopes being put on him right now, and I'm probably not. I'm probably going to lean into that a little bit here. Croskett Merritt to me, Bill, as like I said, is his nickname and what we'll go by for the rest of this, just because it's a one syllable, so much easier to say. He's an interesting runner to me because he is similar to Chris Rodriguez, whose spot I think he takes. Chris Rodriguez is a guy you all know I like, very well loved within our viewers as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a one-cut guy.
Yeah.
And I like one-cut runners. All because if you can align average NFL vision with a strong one-cut ability, you pick up 4 or 5 yards. And then occasionally you can break one for 10, 20.
You stay ahead of the sticks.
You stay ahead of the sticks, right? Exactly. Now, Chris Rodriguez, in a short period of time, has been decent, not great, not blowing anybody away. I think Bill takes over from Chris Rodriguez's role, but Chris Rodriguez was running back 4.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If he does take C-Rod's spot, cool, but that doesn't mean really anything to help our organization right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that sound bad? No,
I mean, I think.
I mean, C-Rod came in, we were up by 20. Come on, let's be honest. He didn't come in.
No, though he started a whole game and he actually had a good running game. And then B-Rob came back and they ran him like 3 times. The running game was frustrating to watch. JG, until proven otherwise, Bill is this year's Wiley. That's fair. He's going to be like, again, the 4th guy.
Wiley's back too, though.
Franchise. I have a franchise talk saying I actually have high hopes for the Rook. Maybe he can be running back too. I'll talk to this in a moment here. Locked on Law. I have 0 expectations for low round picks making the roster when practice squads can be so many players now. Doug, I think Bill competes for a starter with B-Rob. McNichols is the short yardage guy. It is going to be Mike saying plug and play. That's an interesting one here. It's going to be, you can see that they kind of have a system. Brian Robinson's kind of an early down back for them. Austin Eckler is your 3rd down back, plus a bit of a receiver. And, the offense does a little different with Eckler in there. McNichols, while Doug is saying a short yardage guy, McNichols plays more like Austin Eckler.
Yeah, he was Austin's relief for the concussions.
Yes, right? Chris Rodriguez came in when Brian Robinson was out. So Chris Rodriguez was the play for Brian Robinson. And that's why and McNichols, a vet, better at pass protection, which they value. McNichols isn't getting unseated unless somebody shows up in pass protection.
Right.
Because that's what they want. They want a 3rd down back who's good in pass protection.
That way you can line him up out there with Eckler as a 3rd down back and have him for pass.
Yeah. Chris Rodriguez, not that guy. Bill.
No.
Bill, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see if he's got that skill set. But right now, I think that Bill comes in at 4 and replaces Chris Rodriguez. Now, Brian Robinson has not had one healthy season. Now, I mean, unfortunately, his rookie year was completely out of left field, getting shot up. Okay. So you can't really blame him for that. But his sophomore year and last year's third year, didn't see a complete season from him. Chris Rodriguez was able to come in, do well, but not well enough to supplant him. What does it look like to you for Krosky Merritt, JCM, to come in and supplant Brian Robinson?
A lot. Not a lot, but a lot at the same time. Look, for some strange reason, this coaching staff is high on B-Rob. They like B-Rob. They were smart with B-Rob this year. When he was hurt, they held him out as precautionary, and then he went back in the next game. They handled his health way better than the years before. But at the same time, it's like he does things like he runs people over, but he's not a game changer. Like, defenses aren't game planning for, oh, watch out for B-Rob. They just say, oh, it's B-Rob, and then they underestimate his power and they get run over. They're like, okay, then they start paying attention. But before that, they don't really game plan. If they do, it's not a focal point. So it is possible for him to take a spot, but we did pick him in the 7th round. If we wanted to have somebody take B-Rob's spot like that, we probably would have aimed higher for a running back in a higher round. We probably would have maybe got one off the streets or made a trade for one if we were that so gung-ho about replacing him right now. I think B-Rob's gone no matter what. If we drafted Bill or not, I think B-Rob was gone anyway. So he might not have to do anything to take his spot. Just like everybody's saying, ride it out, take that RB4 spot, plug and play like Mike H said. Just ride it out. And then once B-Rob goes and signs that big contract somewhere else, and Eckler probably goes to retirement or maybe just another 1-year deal somewhere else, then it's like, okay, it's really mine for the taking. Who I got to battle? McNichols? Oh, we brought back Chris Rodriguez on the practice squad. I got to go against him. I already took his spot once. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think you have to do much right now, bottom line. Just sit back, know your role, stay in your lane.
You know that you're going to get a bigger role next year because Brian Robinson will be gone.
One of the two, B-Rob or Eckler. We're not keeping both. One of them's gone.
Well, Brian Robinson would have to get re-signed, and I just don't see that happening. He's not contributing enough to get a second contract here. And I am saying that he is just another guy. Now, not just another guy is our man Stoner checking in through his new channel, by the way, the RV Noobs. You can go ahead and check that out. Him and the missus are starting to get towards that retirement and going to be in an RV soon. So check out the channel. Make sure you support him over there. Now, Stoner, thanks for checking in. Make sure you go enjoy your anniversary with the missus. Brian Robinson, like I said, I agree, is replaceable, just another guy. Not falling in love, as Locked on Law was saying, right? Like we always fall in love for these guys, and we're falling in love probably too much with Bill. But for JG's question here, who do you think the surprise cut will be? I don't think it's a surprise. I think it's just Chris Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Chris Rodriguez was a Ron Rivera pick.
Yep.
Corey is not. Bill is not. And they both have a similar running style. They are a one-cut back. Mm-hmm. And if they're not using Chris Rodriguez, but if they drafted a one-cut back, I'm just doing 1 + 1 is 2 here.
There you go.
I don't think it's a surprise cut. I think that it is. No. I think it's exactly what you would expect. I don't think Brian Robinson is cut. I think he remains running back 1, for sure. unless Ja'Cory Croskett-Merritt completely blows away the team. Austin Eckler is a seasoned vet, and you might not get 900+ yards out of him anymore, but I do believe you'll get production out of him, and you'll get savviness out of him. They like him in the room. McNichols,
pass
They're
protection.
different backs. They like McNichols as that emergency option because he can do early down stuff. He's good pass blocker. He can be the Austin Eckler replacement. But reminder, again, Brian Robinson went down. It wasn't McNichols coming up from that running back 3 spot. He stayed running back 3.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to show. And Herman is right. And this has come up before. There are superstar running backs or stud running backs or good running backs who come in that day 3. And Herman's here saying Terrell Davis, 6th round pick. Absolutely. You can find value in running backs later, right?
We just don't do really well.
For every Terrell Davis, there's a Deuce Vaughn.
Right. And for every Terrell Davis, there's a Bryce Love who we drafted and never got to play a single down for us. And we were so high on him. Like he was a day 2 or day 3 guy too. So yeah. I mean, of course you're going to have your diamonds in the roughs in 6th rounds. I mean, the Tom Brady's, the Shannon Sharps, the Terrell Davis, all these guys. Yeah, it's going to happen. But for our organization, when we draft a running back, that's a tell sign for the running back that's already in the locker room. Hey.
And I know they felt good at the end of the season because all of them got re-signed. And that was the big question mark because they were like, yeah, we got Brian Robinson, we got Austin Eckler. Go ahead and come back, McNichols. Go ahead and come back, Chris Rodriguez. Go ahead and come back, Wiley. Go ahead, everybody, coming back here. Jose thinks it's McNichols' spot over Chris Rodriguez.
But you brought up that pass blocking, and as people might say, it's pass blocking. That's a huge detail for coaches in the NFL, and the reason why some people have jobs is Jeremy McNichols. Let's be honest. He's in there for pass protection. So somebody needs to show up on pass blocking if they're going to take McNichols' spot. The only reason why I see them, it'd be hard going into the season to keep 4 running backs, but we always overvalue putting players on the practice squad and worried that somebody's going to take them. That'd be the only thing I'd see if Jacory makes the cut to the 53. Yeah.
To me, they're planning on using him. Where? We'll find out.
Yep. I like that.
That is the running back rooms of the NFC East and where exactly our rookie comes in as far as the Washington Commanders. Now, one of these running backs will be running wild in Spain. And we'll be talking about that here in the game. Stay with us. Welcome to the game here on episode 225 of Ref the District. It's the Commander schedule. We are mere minutes away from the official release of the NFL schedule. Now, last year, I was doing a solo show, and I happened to watch the Washington Commanders video as a live reaction. I thought it was kind of fun until we got slapped with that, copyright restriction. And so we won't be doing that this time because the copyright restriction isn't just about this video, but it puts us on a naughty list for a while.
Yes.
So we will be watching that separately. We won't be watching it on air this time, but we will be talking about whether or not what Washington's schedule looks like. Now, quite a bit of it's been leaked already.
As always.
Yeah, always happens. Schedule release day is one of the stupidest days in the world.
I know, bro.
I'm sorry for those content creators who do this and love this, but for the love of goodness, if Ref the District ends up doing a mock schedule, fire me into the moon.
I'll quit right now.
Okay.
Also, if you're going to do it,
mock schedule,
do it at 10 a.m. Do it at noon. Why are you making it a whole prime time thing at 8 o'clock, but you leaking the whole damn thing before it comes out at 8 o'clock?
The whole thing gets leaked. It is absolutely a mess. Now, one of the things that was leaked, not today, but yesterday, was the Commanders going to Spain in November. unbelievable opportunity, by the way, by 84% of the people saying no, that they will not be traveling to Spain. So we're with you, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not in the cards for myself or Trev. Stoner's going to be there. Stoner's going to
That's crazy. I not gonna lie. I want to try. I want to try my damnedest. I don't think it's gonna happen because I probably start saving money and end up seeing something else I like and be like, I can usually just watch them on TV and buy that instead. But that would be legit awesome. We're playing in the Real Madrid soccer stadium. I think Chris Bryant, leader of the Hawk Farmer, shout out Chris Bryant, tweeted the video out of the stadium. And I put in the group chat, if we went, I don't even care what seat we had, nosebleeds or field. I don't care. We're in Spain, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Spain is wonderful. I've been there from my time in the military, from living overseas. It's fantastic. It'd be awesome.
But
it's expensive. I've got the family going right now. We got the two young kiddos who their future we're not certain at this particular time what's going on. So it's just not in the cards for me. But if it is, plan accordingly. Start saving. You might want to make a purchase right now for some of it, and then slowly start getting some of it. So like ticket prices are going to get up there. Germany tickets were going for like $1,000 for even nosebleeds. Okay. Yeah. Plane tickets from DC to Madrid right now, you can probably get for about $600. It's a no fun one. It is a wear 7 pairs of clothes because you don't get a luggage for it. Okay. So you might pay $25 to get yourself a carry-on. So keep everything in a carry-on, pack light. Hotels, different in Europe. They're different in Europe. If you haven't been, don't expect what you expect here. And bunk with somebody. You don't need to spend $200 a night on a hotel. Spend $50. You're there. You need somewhere safe and secure. But outside of that, you need a bed. That's all you need. That's all
I think I'm just gonna stay here and watch it after you just broke it down like that a little bit. I think I'm gonna stay right here.
It's pricey. Then you need food.
And what if I don't like all the food they have in Spain?
Oh, you would love it.
I know I would.
It's so good. It's good.
All right, but that's cool.
Yeah, Airbnb, Mike. I'll abstain from that. But anybody who wants to answer my question if the women are hot in Madrid, you're welcome to do that. It's an exciting opportunity, and I'm excited for those fans who are going to be able to make it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Do plan accordingly. I think it's going to be so amazing, and I wish I'd got enough brownie points with EP, and things were situated with the family a little bit more to make it happen.
Right.
But
never know.
But it's not in the cards right now. But Stoner's going. We'll do something. It's going to be the early morning game. Everybody's going to be watching. It is not technically prime time, but it is a solo game. Nobody else. Everybody's going to be watching our game and seeing the Washington Commanders. Yeah, against a Miami team in November. They're not good in November.
They're not good at all. We're about to pay them back for that. What they did to us last time we played them. We're going to pay them back.
Yeah,
Spain.
So
all the way in Spain.
Yeah, Spain is wonderful. I'm super excited for, again, those people who are going to be going there. Franchise saying it's out. Josh saying it as well. I'm gonna let Trev get the schedule, and he's gonna feed us what that schedule looks like game by game. Now we know week 1 was leaked ahead of schedule.
Yep. And that is September 7th against the New York Giants. And that, according to this, is a home game.
Home game against the Giants.
Yep.
Abdul Carter perhaps going against our rookie Connolly.
Or if not, Big Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, Laramie Tunsil. How do you like week 1 matchup for
we win.
Washington Commanders?
We win. Yeah, they've got brand new pieces they got to figure out in a few months. They got to figure out who's starting because remember, they got Jameis Winston. They went and grabbed Jackson Dart. They went and grabbed Russell Wilson. and they still got Tommy DeVito over there too. So they got a lot of pieces to figure out over there to see who's going to be throwing the ball. Offensive line didn't make any improvements. Abdul Carter is all they really did on defense. So we'll see. Dub. That's a dub for the good guys at home, week 1. Dub.
Their defense is legit and scary. I'm interested to see what Dabble does with a legitimate quarterback. I feel like these are quarterbacks that he picked, right? He went out and grabbed these quarterbacks with Shane to be able to be like, they got to save their jobs. They got to save their jobs. Close games last year.
Not this
they
year,
have a better quarterback. Washington can't sleep on this one.
We're going to score touchdowns in this one. There ain't going to be no 7 field goals.
Okay. I certainly hope so, because this is not a game I'm taking lightly. I don't think it's a game the team would take lightly as well, but I think that most fans will agree it's going to be a W.
All right. But week 2.
It is going to be interesting. Week 2, who do we got?
Week 2, we go to Green Bay for the first Thursday night NFL game of the season in Green Bay. Advantage, Washington. Why? It ain't cold. It's
prime time.
Cold. And it's prime time. Jayden Daniels.
Prime time, Jayden Daniels.
So that's cool. We don't have to go to Green Bay. I was worried about that when I saw the opponents. I was like, oh, if we have to go to Green Bay in like November, late October, December, I don't know. But we get them out the way early with sun shining out. They just got that golden guy from Texas at wide receiver. The running back game is, I don't even know who they have. I'm going to say a dub just because.
Feeling pretty good about that one.
Yeah.
It's on the road at Lambeau, but like you said, it's not a cold game. It's a Thursday night game.
Yep.
Jayden Daniels and the lights. I like him. Which is good because there's a lot of these that were coming up. That's been leaked. 8 primetime games. Now, two of those are technically not primetime, as I mentioned. The Spain one, not technically a primetime slot, but a primetime in the sense that it is the only game on.
Mm-hmm. All right. Week 3, we back at the homeland against the Raiders at 1:00. I don't know. Pete Carroll can never count him out. They did get Ashton Genty. That boy can run. Our run defense is poopy, but we hope we made some changes. But it's the Raiders. We win. Dub. We beat the Raiders at home.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Raiders. Max Crosby on the Geno Smith's the QB. Reunited with a guy who should have retired in Seattle and didn't. But tone here, this is a good one. We haven't won in Lambeau in over 30 years. Got to get their dub.
Oh, that's right, because they came to us when we had DJ Swearinger and we beat them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been in Lambeau. It's been forever. So it's time to. JD has atoned for the sins of the franchise over and over and over again. Last year hadn't had a 11-win season in 30 years. Hadn't made it to to the NFC Championship in 30 plus years. All this stuff, and Jayden Daniels said, "I bless thee." Yeah, and we're over that now. We're over that now. So I believe in it. I believe in that one. The Raiders, I feel like they're getting a lot of early talk right now as a team that's been revamped, getting Geno Smith, getting Genty is good. I like that. I mean, I think they're an exciting pick right now for people. Yeah. I think that they're being people are buying too high on them. People are buying. Pete Carroll is he lost the mojo in Seattle. He's not pulling an Andy Reid. Okay. He's not going to go from the NFC to the AFC and all of a sudden start winning Super Bowls, especially not with Geno Smith at QB.
All right. Week 4, we go to the ATL. Either against Kirk Cousins, if he's still there, Michael Penix Jr., we don't know yet. I think that's a dub still. I don't know what they really did in the draft or the offseason to really blow my mind or maybe to even pay attention to it. I know they got better on the defensive side of the ball, I think, in the draft. But other than that, they don't scare me. We win that one too.
I'm sorry. Who was this? Who was the
Falcons.
schedule? Falcons.
Yeah.
This is the Michael Penix Jr. rematch
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta, solid defense. I really feel like this is going to be the litmus test on where Penix is as a QB.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like the pressure's on them more so than it is on us. I like Washington's chances in there, although it was a close game last year. They have made some improvements, but like I said, it's going to end up their season is going to rely on whether or not Michael Penix Jr. is the QB.
Yep. All right. Week 5, 4:30 game. We go to SoFi and play the Chargers. I don't know, to be honest. Chargers are choke artists. They've proven that.
Not in week 5, they're not.
Not in week 5, they're not. But when it gets to nitty gritty, they are. So, like you said, it's a week 5. They usually dominate the first half of the season. That's gonna be a good game. We're gonna win, but that's gonna be another nice test for Jayden Daniels. An AFC West opponent, hasn't seen them yet. Different version to play out there. But he is from the West Coast anyway, so I don't think the travel will be a problem. We'll probably go to Atlanta, then go from Atlanta to LA, knowing how Dan Quinn and the boys are.
Chargers are a tough out. Franchise Mike are on it, that one. It's
I don't know.
Doug, that's a good point, by the way. If you're wondering where the top edge rushers went, Doug pointing out that the Falcons drafted 2 of them.
Yeah, I remember they drafted Vic Beasley as one of those 2. Where's he at? So here we go. All right.
The Chargers, I think, is going to be a tough out.
It is. And then week 6, we're back home against the Chicago Bears, 8:15. That is, I don't know if that's a Monday night, Thursday night, or what, but it's a primetime game again.
It's a Monday night.
And I'm going to be honest, that's going to be a good one. The Bears got better, not only on the field, but on the sideline. Ben Johnson's there. Okay. He's going to work with Caleb Williams. They let Keenan Allen go and went and got another receiver to pair with the other 2 studs they have there. The offensive line got better. Caleb Williams is a 2nd-year guy now, so he's had a whole full off season to be acclimated with the system. Well, it's a different system now with Ben Johnson. Yeah, we barely beat them last year. To be honest, guys, like, I'm not trying to poop on our season. I'm just being a realist. We won on a Hail Mary against a rookie Caleb Williams with no O-line. So it's going to be a bigger fight this one. I don't know. We win because, let's be honest,
because it's all dubs.
Yeah, but that's going to be a dog fight too.
Yeah, again, Washington winning pretty close last year on that one. By the way, the Chargers, a couple people mentioning Najee Harris as a pickup for the Chargers. And they also picked up your boy out of North Carolina,
Amarian.
Yeah, so and Harbaugh out there loves the run game.
Hell yeah.
Regular season guy, Herbert, whether or not you believe that or not, we'll see. I know that's Stoner's guy. I'm a little lower on him, but Chargers going to be tough out. Ben Johnson revenge game. Eric Bieniemy, the running backs coach, is Mike pointing out for Chicago. His revenge game.
Okay. So moving on.
I think Ben Johnson might be a fraud.
Hey, I think he might be a fraud too. I think he was a good OC, but now he's running the whole show. I don't know if he can do it. All right, here we go. Moving on to week 7. We go to Dallas. That's a dub. I don't even say anything else. George Pickens is a nice pickup. Our secondary got better, though. Dak might be hurt by then. You never know.
7 weeks in, that's only our 2nd
division game. Yeah, because we'll get to that of what's happening. After week 7, we go to yet another primetime showdown to the Kansas City Chiefs. Look,
Monday Night
I don't know
Football.
about y'all. I'm not as scared as I was 3-4 years ago of the Chiefs as I am now. This past year showed me that they're super vulnerable. They just played against teams that didn't know how to finish games. They were beaten last year, but they were just never finished out by other teams. Bro, I think we got a chance. I mean, remember that year where they ended up beating us 31-14, but we hung with them for a while, and then it just like, okay, they ran away with it. Like, stop playing with us. They ran away with it. And we had Taylor Heineke throwing the ball to Cam Sims and them boys. So just based off of our play last year and the Kansas City squeakouts damn near every game last year, I think we have a legit shot of shocking the world and beating them. If not, they're not going to roll over on us. We're going to make them earn that win if they do end up winning. So
my eyes will be on Simmons, the tackle that Kansas City took when they picked at 32. That is going to be the right tackle for them. Connerly was the guy that we took in our spot. Some people had Simmons higher. So that's going to be the kind of where my eyes are on that one. I do think that it will be, it'll be interesting. So, by the way, the bye week, I'm making a joke in the chat. We'll get to it when we get to it. Week 12 bye week. I made a joke about week 14. We'll get there when we get there. Kansas City Monday Night Football moving to week 9 now.
That's yet another primetime game at 8:20. I don't know on this one, doesn't say what it is, but it's
Sunday Night Football.
Against the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold against Jayden Daniels. That's a dub.
There's so much that's changed out in Seattle that I just don't know what to think. Getting rid of Geno Smith, bringing in Sam Darnold, getting rid of Sam, our boy Sam too. I mean, like
Tyler Lockett gone too. DK Metcalf gone too. So yeah, we win. Sam Darnold's throwing to literal ghosts this time, so we'll take that dub. And you got nobody to throw to, so we'll take that dub. Moving on to week 10, another home game, 425. NFC division
game rematch. Yeah.
Rematch against the Detroit Lions. I think it's a dub. That's another one like Seattle. They got rid of everybody, but not on the field, but on the sideline staff. Ben Johnson gone. Aaron Glenn gone. Somebody else is gone. Somebody else is gone. We still got Lance Newmark. He ain't go back there. He stayed with us. So yeah, I just don't. Yeah, Jackson Smith is nice, but who else they got?
Yeah, Jackson Smith and I can't JSN.
Yeah,
he's good. He's good. But yeah, that's for Seattle.
We beat the Lions.
For Detroit, they have a lot of talent on that team. I do see a drop off, but that's not a cakewalk just because 2 coordinators leave. It's gonna be an interesting one.
It's not, but we've seen what happens when 2 coordinators leave. Philly. Happened to Philly.
Week 11 going international.
Viva la Madrid, Spain against the Miami Dolphins.
9:30 in the morning. We talked about whether or not we're going to be at Spain. Miami, don't feel like they're a good team. I feel like McDaniels is on his way out. I just feel like they're a team that's drowning in mediocrity, and it's going to get pulled from them.
Yep. And then, like you said, week 12 bye, which is awesome because we can rest after the long trip to Spain.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If you do an international game, you're going to get the bye the very next week. That's exactly what's happening here. We'll go from a home game against Detroit to an international away game, which is big. Yep. It's really big because you got to remember Washington last year had the benefit of the additional home game. This year, they're going to have to do an additional away game. So it's one of Miami's home games that gets made to be an international one, which means while we have technically a lopsided away game schedule, one of those is a neutral field in another country. Just pointing that out. Also, technically not prime time, but it is a solo game. We got a Thursday night football. We got a Monday night football. We got a Monday night football. We got a Sunday night football. And now we have an international. That's 5 games where all eyes will be on us at the time of viewing.
Then after the bye week, we don't play again until another primetime game in week 13. What's that one?
That one's Sunday night football.
Sunday night football against the Denver Broncos. That's going to be a shootout. That's going to be a good game. The Broncos loaded up. They were in the playoff hunt last year. Bo Nix was in the running for Rookie of the Year. That's going to be a good one. I like the Broncos. I do like them. It's going to be a good game.
I'm not a Bo Nix supporter, but I do think the Broncos is an interesting matchup. They got a great defense. They're going to have a great running game. Sean Payton, I think, is still a great coach. So that's going to be a tough game. By the way, we mentioned how many primetime games we've had. All right.
We're up to 6 right now.
We're up to 6. Half of those are home games. Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and a Sunday Night Football so far are all home games. And then I mentioned the international game is an away game, but it's a neutral field. So right now I'm feeling pretty good about all these home games.
And bro, I don't know if anybody peeped it, but that former UFC champion, who I think is from that area, was supporting the Commanders' Jayden Daniels jersey. So it might be a home game. He might have the Madrid root for us. All right, so after the Broncos, week 14, we leave and go to Skull Country. We play the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson's a problem. I don't care who you have. Outside of Justin Jefferson, I'm not terrified of anybody. Frankly, I don't even know anybody else they got.
Addison, we mentioned that before.
Yeah, Aaron
JJ
Jones,
McCarthy.
This is JJ's first year.
Yep, this is a Shanahan offense. So just expect the defense to get worked and our offense having to do a better job than theirs. I'm just saying. The Jonathan Allen revenge game, Minnesota.
Okay. So then after that, Nathan, I don't know if you guys caught it, but a few minutes ago he said by week 10 we had only played 2 division games. That's because the NFL decided to load us up with the rest of our division games at the end of the season. 4 straight weeks division opponents. Beginning December 14th, away, the New York Giants, a 1:00 game. Week 16, we come back home, December 20th against Philly. We don't know what time yet. Christmas Day, we play the Dallas Cowboys at 1:00. That's
again, awesome. Not technically a primetime game,
but everybody gonna be watching.
I know my presents are gonna be open by then.
Yeah, I'm got you. I'll be lit by then. All right. So, and then week 18, we finish with the Eagles again. So we don't see the Eagles until the end of the season, within 3 weeks of each other, which is interesting. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying NFL is trying to say, hey, the division is going to come down to those probably last 3 games for us and the Eagles, vice versa, you know?
Yeah.
But 4 straight opponents into the season. So
I think that's a rough way to end it. I really do. I hate it in so many ways because it's just like if you need to, I don't know, it just feels like it takes away some of the setup because then it just is like these games are if you didn't win the games before, you have to win these.
You gotta win these.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
it's going to be interesting.
My overall, real quick thought of the schedule: it could 12-5. It could be 12-5 again.
It's 17-0 until we find out otherwise.
Damn right.
Realistically, I like the way that the schedule broke. I love being media darlings. Jayden Daniels is must-watch TV. That's why they have 8 primetime games.
Ladies and gentlemen, not only that, but we did go to the NFC Championship.
Yep. People are going to be excited and they're going to start hating us because we're on TV so much. We can't let them down. We have to be an exciting team. By the way, 8 currently on schedule, but the last 3 weeks could easily get, 8, one of those being Christmas Day. That's not going to get flexed. Right. But week 16 against the Eagles, TBD. That's could end up being a primetime game. The week 18 game, imagine the division coming down to week 18. You know that's going to be primetime.
Yeah, they don't have Nate Sudfeld for a win to give us the win.
I love that there's a lot of primetime games, because the game against Cincinnati, Monday Night Football, introduced the world to Jayden Daniels. Primetime, he was ready. The stage wasn't too big for him. He enjoys it. And if he has that mentality he had in that Cincinnati game, then look out, world, because he's got 8 games where he's going to show out because he knows people are watching. And that is fantastic. And I feel like that's the Jayden Daniels we're going to get.
Bro, we don't have to worry about regional coverage anymore every Sunday to watch the game. We're going to be on prime time. Now, question. Do you think 8 primetime games is a little too much after Jayden Daniels' rookie season? As much as he thrived in primetime, as much as he set the record in the bar for rookies all time, do you think 8 games is a little overzealous for that? Or do you think...
I think it's an overcorrection, absolutely, by the NFL. I don't mind it. I love it.
Me too.
But I do think it's an overcorrection, and it has the chance to kind of be, if the team isn't as good, like Stoner's predicted, that the team record is worse, I think that people will be down on Washington. But if Washington continues being a good team, if they keep beating these teams that they're supposed to be and being in dogfights and looking good against teams and potentially winning against teams that are seen as superior, like Kansas City, if they fight with Kansas City and they look like a good team, people are going to continue jumping on the bandwagon. And I welcome them. Welcome all of them. Please come along.
Word.
So okay. Yam says 3 or 4 primetime games is okay, but more than that, and it's rough. There's going to be viewer fatigue. Non-Washington fans are going to get tired of seeing Washington, especially, as I mentioned, if they have a so-so year. So.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Point of note here, Washington last year, one of the team that traveled the least. We made a big deal of it, that they didn't even have to get in a plane for like 10, 12 weeks, right?
Right.
This time, they're not inside the top 10, but they're traveling twice as much, 21,000 miles. Now, granted, one of those is because they're flying out to Spain, but they do have a trip over to the Chargers, going to Lambeau, and then also Minnesota. So there's a lot more traveling this time. We're going to see how that impacts the team. We saw some smart play with this last year, Trev. The team was able to kind of, they flew out to Arizona, and they stayed in Arizona for a week because they didn't want to have to sit there and, come back home, work out, and then travel and make it late. They just went ahead and went to the West Coast early. So we'll see how that is this time.
I think it'll carry over this season too.
Yeah. You mentioned the 4 games to close out the season, all division.
Yeah.
Philadelphia in the final game. It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be an interesting year. Now, the question is, Mike is asking, where do we rank as far as strength of schedule we have to face? I haven't seen the official stat, but I know from early predictions on this, because we knew who the opponents were.
Yeah.
Washington, I believe, is in the top 10 of the most difficult schedules, facing the West, AFC West playing the NFC North and the NFC East with the Eagles means that going into it, they're facing a lot of double-digit win teams from last season.
So this, I just typed it in Google and this popped up. It says we're the 8th hardest strength of schedule in 2025. Did you say that?
I said top 10. I didn't know where we were, but I knew it was a top 10.
So their opponents from 2024 had a combined winning percentage of 55%. This is a significant increase from the 2024 season when the Commanders had the easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah, Hermit saying 6th or 8th as well. TJ, 12-5 repeat season. Trev, that was your all dubs.
Yeah, I mean it's doable.
Yeah, I would go with. I'm going to go with 10 wins. We're going to stick with the double-digit wins. I think we're going to have a 10-7 season. I think it's enough to sneak into the playoffs, and we'll try to do some damage there. I think it's going to be an interesting season. I love the schedule. We'll have more time to talk about these games as we come up and we start taking a look at each of our opponents each week. Make sure that you're watching us throughout the season because we do kind of go over each game and we bring in some people. So Trey Huff with 11 and 8 wild card. By the way, NFC East has not been won back-to-back seasons. So either we or the Cowboys have to step up and unseat the Eagles. Otherwise, the Eagles will be the first team to go back-to-back in the East.
We can't have that.
Don't think we can have that. But maybe we can have a defensive end out of Cincinnati who isn't happy to be there. Trey Hendrickson and some Wizards talk coming up here in the cool down. Stay with me. Welcome to the cool down. It's a shark attack with Trey Hendrickson here in the cool down. Should Adam Peters make the call is the question. Before we get to there, because it's an emphatic yes from Trev, the Vanguardian TV had a great note for the schedule that we talked about in the game. Good teams face difficult schedules every year. We are here now, so we better get used to it.
We have arrived.
Yep. 10 wins, 9 wins, whatever you got. We got to keep it up. Got to keep those double-digit win seasons. Got to keep doing that. A guy like Hendrickson could come at a cost. It's getting a little cheaper now. That boy showed up in like khaki, like business casual.
Yep.
I think somebody said he looked like Angel Hernandez. He was going to be calling balls and strikes out there with the outfit that he had going on.
Yep.
What do you make of the situation in Hendrickson? And you are a big fan of Adam Peters making this phone call, but what would he have to give up to make this happen?
Well, first of all, it's an unfortunate situation for the Cincinnati Bengals as a whole, real quick, because they have 3 stud players who deserve monumental contracts, and two out of the 3 got it, leaving Trey out. And the other 2, if you guys don't know, I'm talking T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Trey Hendrickson is now looking to become paid, and it's not happening. He led the league, I think, last year with 17.5 sacks. He had another 17.5 sack season this year. He basically said, no one has talked to me about anything, but they had the audacity for the head coach, Zach Taylor, to text me and say, if you don't show up to mandatory minicamp, you could be subject to fines. Trey's pissed. Ultimately, at the end of his rant today, he said he will not be playing for the Cincinnati Bengals on his last year's contract. Now moving on to AP. The bat signal, bro. Go do it. Once in a lifetime opportunity to create a juggernaut. Not a lot of people can have your job, Adam Peters, so very fortunate to have that job. Just do it. We didn't get the defensive end that everybody's been wanting. I don't want you to go get Jadeveon Clowney and the Von Millers and the Zadarius Smiths and the Preston Smiths when you have a guy like Trey Hendrickson who was available. Go do it. You did it with Marshawn Lattimore, and he wasn't even healthy. You did it, surprisingly, with Laramie Tunsil. You did it with Deebo Samuel. I mean, that's a stud name in the secondary and defense. That's a stud name on the ball catcher. A stud name in the trenches. We have a stud in the linebacker. Whether you want to say Bobby Wagner's old or not, he's a stud. The only thing that's left to complement the studs is a defensive end or defensive lineman at that, and that's what you get with Trey Hendrickson. 5th or 6th round pick. If we got them, send both of them. You got 5, 6, and 7, send both of them. 4 and 5, send both of them. I mean, this dude has averaged daggone near 35 sacks in 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's back-to-back years of 17 and a half sacks,
Okay.
at 5-year average of 14 and a half sacks.
We ain't seen nothing like that come from us since we thought what we had in Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Oh, we're going to set the sack record. Nah, you set the record for how many teams you played in so many years. That's what you've done so far, personally. But anyways, don't do it, AP. Feel out. Kick the tires even harder because we know you probably already did a little bit. The price was a little higher. But now we found out Trey ain't going to play for Cincinnati this year. Oh, get the trade, take on that money, and extend him. Do it. He's the building piece for your defense.
Yeah. Nathan, the other Nathan says, sold. Trev sold me. A lot of people, talking about he's still playing at a high level. We talked about his sack totals. His run defense, JG mentioned his run defense, maybe not so great, but no character issues to speak of.
Okay. We addressed the run defense with all the guys we got. We ain't got no pass rush. I'm sorry.
Yeah, at least not on paper we don't have a pass rush. And
there you go.
It's a call Adam Peters has to make. Yeah. He doesn't have to close a deal, but he has to figure out where Cincinnati is with this, because this right now, this situation is good for 2 people. Okay. It's good for Hendrickson because either he's getting paid by Cincinnati or he's going to be moved to a team who's willing to pay him. Right. So he's winning this holdout. And it's good for the team. His holdout currently is good for the team that is going to trade for him, because Cincinnati they have his contract. That's what they're holding right now. But they don't have any leverage because now the guy's not playing for them. And so the price went from potentially a first rounder to now it's kind of going down because you're like, you have to unload him because you're not going to get value off of him.
He just turned 30 in December.
Yeah.
We're about to have a new stadium in 5 years. Go get him.
I will have to say, and I have to admit this.
Come on, Nathan.
I am with those who are saying save the picks.
Oh, okay.
Trey, I'm with you.
Okay, hold on. Is it fair to say that after 2 years of a draft with Adam Peters, and we've seen how last year's draft class played out, and we haven't seen how this draft class has played out, is it fair to say that right now?
Yeah, we're still waiting on. We know Jayden Daniels has proven himself. I like Johnny Newton, but he still has to show up a little bit more for most people. Mikey, people love Mikey. Ben Sinnott, he's getting buried on the depth chart. We still have to see him kind of come out. I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the guys because they're just okay. Right. This year, we're not sure where Connolly's going to go. We're not sure. We didn't really go heavy defense. Trey Amos could help. Locked on Law says you're not drafting anyone with the first round pick equal to the value of Trey Hendrickson. He's a generational talent. I don't know about generational. I think that he's great. I think he's a great talent. Generational to me, you have to up your run game. You have to be good at generational talent. It's not just like, unless you're specifically saying he's a generational pass attack, right? Yeah. He's a generational defensive edge rusher in the sense that a sack master. a Jared Allen, perhaps. Although Allen was pretty good against the run too. Yeah, rope him up there, Trev. I want to see what year 2 on the defense is. Yeah. We didn't have big names last year either. I was calling for a pass rusher, and this is hard for me to be on the side of keep the picks, Trev, because I always tell people the second most important position in football is the guy who's going after the quarterback.
Thank you.
And this is a good guy to get after that quarterback. So it's hard for me to swallow this medicine right now and say save the picks. And it's not because I feel you're going to get a Trey Hendrickson out of those picks. Because it's just, you'd never know. And Stoner says it all the time when it's just like, why trade away talent for picks when you got the talent here? But in this case, you're doing the reverse. You're trying to trade away potentially. I mean, look, you traded away a second to get Laramie Tunsil. You traded away a third for Marshawn Lattimore. You traded away a fifth for Deebo Samuel. If those guys end up being talent that's better than a second, a third, and a fifth, you make good with it. And the deal right now for Hendrickson looks like you might only need a second or a third.
So do it. Because, guys, if we keep winning like we do, we ain't going to have no high draft picks to go get good talent in the first, second round.
That's true.
Seriously, we're not.
You start picking in the late 20s again.
Yeah,
it's going to.
So what's the point? Why do we want to save picks so we can keep drafting the Ben Sinnott's and the Krosky Merritts and the Cager Medranos, whatever his name is, from UCLA? Why do we want to do that? Yes, we started out building through the draft, but guess what? That's out the window, bro. We're here. We're winning now. Especially if we win again this year. Not go as far, but we win 10+ games. Oh, screw them draft picks, bro. Screw them. Use them to go get you juggernauts. Go get you juggernauts and make this team a juggernaut. It's time. New stadium's coming. It's a brand new era. We got a franchise quarterback for 20+ years. Like, just go. If the opportunity presents itself, you have to try and seize it. Now, if it wasn't any of this and we were just like, oh, let's go try and see what, you think they would want to trade Trey? No, I'd be upset with that. But now Trey is literally saying, somebody come get me. Mm-hmm. I want to play. I'm not playing here, but I want to play. Somebody come get me. Go do it. And I'm only saying that too because of the moves he's made for the guys he's got and how he's done it. Laramie Tunsil was the quietest move I've ever witnessed as being a fan of this team in my entire life. The quietest move. Never saw it coming. Never heard a rumor. Never saw any smoke. It was just like, wait, what? Is this real? And then you go and get Deebo Samuel right after the season's done because he wants to play for a winning team. Deebo Samuel wants to leave a winning team and go play for another winning team. Okay. Go get Trey Hendrickson. Go get it. The culture's here. He's only going to add to it.
And that line of thinking, though, Trev, the Tunsil one was a surprise. The Deebo Samuel one was a surprise. The Marshawn Lattimore one was a surprise. There was links out to Washington to all these other players and talks of maybe they'll go get this guy or that guy. Those never end up happening. Washington right now, a lot of people are pointing out they got to go get Hendrickson. Media is talking about, where would be a good landing spot for Hendrickson, and people are pointing to Washington. It seems to me Adam Peters doesn't make the moves you think he's going to make. He makes the moves that the team needs at the time.
What he needs, though. Think, bro, it's right there in your lap for taking. This one is.
Gus chiming in here. We appreciate you joining us tonight, Gus. We are not that close. Giving an edge rusher big money after age 30 is a recipe for disaster.
Gus Bus, I hear you, but the man just put up 35 sacks in 2 years.
And locked on slide. We need a pass rusher.
35 sacks in 2 years, bro.
Washington made Fowler a double-digit sack guy. Washington repeatedly saw high pressures. They didn't end up having the guy to close the deal. Hendrickson absolutely would be a guy to close the deal. I think we're going to see a lot of creativity this year. I think that we're going to
Nathan.
see higher sack numbers.
We don't want that.
We are
want
going
a
to sign
stud.
somebody who we don't like. The Dietrich Wises of the world are going to be who we
Jadeveon
sign
Clowney.
until we end up with our guy. I don't think Hendrickson is that guy.
And it sucks to hear you say that, but he literally is our guy. It's just too obvious of a move for us to make, is what you're saying. And sometimes you just gotta do it, bro. Like, this is the one where you like legit no brainer. Like, you.
I think we're going to get the Noah Brown of our edge rushers this season. That's what we're going to get. There's going to be some edge rusher who's cut from a team because he's the odd one out. And Adam Peters is going to swoop in and get him. And that guy is going to be this year's Noah Brown, where he's going to be the number 2 guy and just look good. I'm just telling you, that is what I think.
Yeah, and then what's going to happen? Watch the damn Philadelphia Eagles make a way to happen. And then we're going to be like, oh.
We'll see how it goes. What Stoner thinks, I don't know. We'll have to see what he says at some point. We might not talk about it again until there's an actual deal made. If there's a deal.
Make the call. The question is, should Adam Peters make the call? Most definitely make the call.
Let's switch gears here. Early on, Locked on Law, an older one of us in an advanced age, says sports are all going to crap. The NBA gives the number 1 pick to a playoff team. MLB lets cheaters back into the Hall of Fame consideration. And the N and NFL means nothing anymore. National, meaning we're going international in the NFL. Let's stick with just the NBA right now. Are the Washington Wizards had tied for the highest percentage chance to end up with the number 1 overall pick. People dreamed of Cooper Flagg coming to DC. It was all supposed to be fun and games. And, even if they don't get Cooper Flagg, there's some talent there in the top 4. Washington is picking 6th. Proving once again, tanking is for losers.
Amen. And the lottery is rigged.
The lottery is rigged, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But for the love of goodness, I know some people say Washington tanked to get the number 2 pick and lucked out and getting Jayden Daniels in that regard. The Washington football team, the Washington Commanders under Ron Rivera, were not a good team. They didn't have to tank. They literally just had to keep playing Sam Howell, keep Eric Bieniemy employed, and they were going to lose games. That's as simple as it was under Ron Rivera. And tanking or not tanking for them was, I guess, keeping the status quo, being just a bad team. They didn't go out of their way to sit there and can a successful coach. They didn't go out of their way to start a quarterback who, I know we had a quarterback who we feel could have won games behind Sam Howell, but they were doing what a team was expected to do: stick with the young quarterback. Winning games at the end of that season wasn't going to do anything when Washington was on a 9-game losing streak. So it wasn't so much that they were tanking as much as they were just a bad team, and they were playing like a bad team. They didn't do, as you mentioned earlier, with Nate Sudfeld and put him in at halftime. That's not something that we saw happen. Okay. So Washington Commanders didn't tank to get number 2. They did get a generational talent who we believe is a generational talent at number 2 and a fantastic franchise quarterback at number 2. The Wizards, I think, have some good young pieces, but much like the Washington Nationals, it's not translating to wins right now. I don't know that they will translate to wins. Development in the NBA is not linear for a lot of people, but for the love of goodness, stop cheering on our teams to tank. It is just not worth it. Just not worth it.
No.
And
for the
yes,
integrity of the sport.
yeah, Dallas with a
Oh my god!
1.8% chance.
Are we getting to that now? Okay,
We're gonna get into this now. It's
Ladies and
rigged.
gentlemen,
It's rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged.
LeBron James went on Pat McAfee a month ago and said pretty much the same thing in so many words. Chicago Bulls, Derrick Rose. New York Knicks, Patrick Ewing. Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James. Everybody was laughing at Nico, the GM for the Dallas Mavericks, when he traded away his generational talent in Luka Doncic. Laughing. Memes galore. They start the draft lottery at number 10 with a 1.8% chance of winning. They have never won the draft lottery in the history of the Dallas Mavericks franchise. They trade away Luka. They win the draft lottery. So now they're the number one pick, and consensus is they're going to take Cooper Flag. Number one. Makes it look like Nico had an idea, a little inkling he was going to get at least a top 2 pick of the draft lottery. Or else, why would he make that trade for real? Let's be honest. If he didn't know, you think he would just trade away Luka for an aging Mr. Glass AD for real, without knowing that he has a chance of getting either Ace Bailey or Cooper Flag? He definitely knew. The draft lottery is rigged.
If you look at like the last 20 years, pretty much every time a superstar has been traded away and left a team, the team that lost said superstar ended up with that number 1 pick.
There it is.
It just seems crazy to me. My Oklahoma City Thunder still in it. Won game 5. Love to see it. What I feel great about the Wizards is they have a Sam Presti guy. Somebody
Dawkins
from that Sam Presti front office is now with the Wizards. And I feel like that person's going to do wonders in wheeling and dealing. It does mean a lot of the good young talent Wizards have now, the ones that you might enjoy watching, this Alex Sarr, the Bud Carrington, you're going to lose them because you're going to get draft picks instead. And then you're going to develop some more, mediocre guys, and you're going to get more for it than what you got out of Rui. And then you're going to swing some guy and you're going to parlay PG-13 into Paul George 13, more number 13. It's called PG-13. That's how SGA ended up in Oklahoma City. It's going to take some time for the Wizards. I have hope that they'll get there. It just feels bad, Trev. We're in this moment of joy as Washington Commanders fans. And if, you're a fan of the other Washington teams, then you want those other teams to be good, right? Instead, the Caps are down 3-1 to the Canes. Yeah. Not looking good there in the NHL. The NBA, you have a great shot at a top tier talent, and you end up 6th.
Yep.
The baseball team, you have a lot of great young talent, and it's just you keep losing game after game after game, and it's unfortunate because there's so much good on the DC football end that the rest of it ends up not matching.
Not at all. Can't have nice things as a Washington fan, can you?
You can. You might have Trey Hendrickson. You have a number 2 running back room in the NFC East, and you have the best quarterback, top talent with 8 primetime games. We appreciate you joining us in tonight. Uptown Dre, Trey, Locked On Law. Gus Bus came in. Mike, Vanguardian TV. I agreed with you quite a bit on there as well. JG might have jumped ship when we started talking some basketball, but we do ref the district here, so we wanted to bring in some of that when there was some relevant stuff to talk about. Draft just happened, or draft lottery just happened for the NBA. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Make sure that you're subbed up to the channel. Share it with everybody. We appreciate you. Join us next week. I'm going to be out because it'll be anniversary time for the Perrys. So we appreciate everybody sticking with us here at Sans Stoners. stoners enjoying their anniversary. We appreciate you. And until next time,
make the call.
Be a fan.